Chapter 726. Yudhir turned his head to gaze upon Kishir. Given the uncertainty of the problems this crack may cause, wouldn't it be best to deal with them as quickly as possible? I shall go and see to it. Will you go in person? Kishir asking, tilting his head. Yudhir, not quite grasping the intent behind his question, remained silent for a moment before responding. Yes, naturally, I must go myself. We are not so hard-pressed that I need to send someone who's just returned from battle and is in disarray out again. Why not rest for a while, observe the situation, and leave the suppression to your comrades? ... Yudhir's eyebrow twitched slightly. Is this his way of punishing me for failing to heed his warning to avoid injury? The situation was not disadvantageous for them, as Kishir had pointed out. However, as long as those who had caused the crack remained standing, Yudhir had no intention of standing by idly. Though not in perfect condition, he didn't necessarily need rest. To sit and merely watch was unthinkable, especially given the situation reminiscent of a disaster from a previous life. I cannot predict what those other merchants might do next. They dared to target you, Commander, and seem to be linked to that crack above. Those two reasons alone make it imperative for me not to back down. If there are no other reasons, I implore you to reconsider. Yudhir emphasized the phrase other reasons. It was a subtle protest against receiving such a punishment, especially having heard about the terrible events in the previous game and now facing this strange crack. Yet the response he received was unexpected. Is that why you're worried? Excuse me? It was a voice so low and quiet only Yudhir could hear. Kishir's unsmiling eyes quietly watched Yudhir's face, as if trying to see through something hidden. Caught off guard, Yudhir opened his mouth but then hesitated. After a moment, Kishir let out a small sigh, his face relaxing into a reluctant smile. Soon, it shifted back to his usual carefree and shameless expression. It was a joke, of course. Having my capable and beautiful assistant take charge is the best and highest course of action. I suggested a rest out of concern, but if that is your wish, are you sure you're okay? Kishir never misses an opportunity to praise Yudhir or flirt with him. I would have been totally turned into a puddle right in front of him. Yudhir sure is strong. One of the successful candidates looked incredulous, wondering if this was indeed something Duke Paleta had just said to his assistant. The others around, including other successful candidates and imperial soldiers, shared the same expression. However, the cavalry members took it all in stride, accustomed to Kishir's manner of speaking. Yudhir momentarily caught up in the smile he had just seen, barely registered Kishir's added nonsensical description. What was that? He took a deep breath, trying to calm his irregular heartbeat, and nodded firmly. I'm fine. Please entrust it to me. It was natural for him to worry, as Yudhir would have felt the same had Kishir tried to intervene. It wasn't strange that he momentarily showed his concern. Yudhir bowed his head before Kishir, placing a hand over his chest in the cavalry salute. Kishir, returning to his usual brazen and relaxed demeanor, looked towards the distant enemies and spoke. Those called upon now shall follow Yudhir Ale to the forefront. Yes, the waiting cavalry members responded vigorously. The names Kishir recited belonged to members possessing power with natural abilities, totaling 5. Everyone is well aware of Yudhir's abilities, I presume? Yes, we are aware. From now on, you will be responsible for dealing with the key figures in this incident, aligning thoroughly with Yudhir's movements. As it's a practice we often do in the cavalry, I trust you will perform well in real combat. Realizing what was expected of them, the members grinned and nodded affirmatively. Yes. The rest, as mentioned earlier, will form a formation and start suppressing. Do not miss signals from colleagues already dispatched in the surrounding buildings. Always be vigilant and move accordingly. Remember, precise control and speed of abilities are paramount to minimize collateral damage. Understood. As Kishir raised his hand, the cavalry members moved in unison. Only the imperial army and successful candidates remained by Kishir's side. However, no one was worried about the commander left behind. The members' faces brimmed with confidence, a testament to their belief in their skills and the commander. Yudhir, without looking back at his fallen comrades, ran, stepping on the wind. Using the wind's power allowed for high jumps, but with lesser power, he could sprint at tremendous speeds without touching the ground. Direction control was challenging and efficiency dropped with prolonged use, but in situations like now, where quick handling was crucial, this method was most appropriate. A Star of Nagran member, thinking he had prepared quickly for the cavalry's movement, was startled to find Yudhir had reached him in the blink of an eye. He hurriedly swung his sword, but Yudhir was no longer there. With a weightless grace, Yudhir leaped high and struck the sword-wielding person head with a scabbard. The target isn't who I aimed for, but at least one is down. Yudhir, without looking back at the one who had fallen unconscious, focused only on what lay ahead. The fallen would be collected by the following members of the cavalry. Jumping high again while sprinting on the wind, Yudhir quickly discerned the positions of both enemies and allies. Kishir had strategically positioned members around the southern branch and in surrounding buildings. They replaced civilians from building protection and from elevated and concealed positions, supported their allies with their abilities. Members created barriers in every corner to prevent escape, casting blinding lights to signal enemy directions, and spreading strengthening winds all contributed to the allies facing the enemy directly, enabling them to exert their powers far more comfortably than usual. The cavalry's bomb, a fluid encirclement of the enemy, was a product of grueling collective training. Seeing this perfect synergy in action filled Yudhir, who had taught them, with immense satisfaction. In the midst of the tangled fray, Yudhir precisely counted and located the robed figures. He longed to knock down the fools from the southern stronghold, but since they were wearing casual clothes, it was very difficult to distinguish them with those from the central stronghold. There are 4 of them, all scattered. Did they think it's enough if even one escapes? What was the use? Such tricks were meaningless before Yudhir. While it was common to pursue and confront each adversary individually in such abilities, Yudhir could, if he could see them all, chose to strike them down simultaneously. Yudhir, harnessing the wind beneath his feet, explosively propelled himself upward. Just before descending, he briefly slowed, reaching his hand towards the distant ground below. His golden eye shimmered brighter as the earth beneath the 4 southern merchants suddenly caved in. They reacted quickly, as if expecting such a sudden turn, but Yudhir was not alone. The cavalry members following him each used their abilities to subdue the enemies one by one. The water manipulator flooded the ground, making it swampy to prevent escape, while the fire manipulator surrounded the area Yudhir had affected with a ring of fire. Though none could manipulate earth, the air manipulator adjusted the airflow in the hole, making breathing impossible, achieving their goal with ease. Meanwhile, Yudhir leisurely landing easily shattered the blind attacks coming his way with a sword in his sheath, a gift from Kishir moving forward. The sturdy sheath, a weapon in itself, didn't necessitate drawing the sword. Barehanded with only his robust sword sheath, Yudhir felt no need to exert more power. His combat sense, particularly adept in single against many battles, shone as always. His relentless manner invigorated his allies and stunned his enemies. Madness! How can he be? Is he even human?